Good evening and welcome to Maggie News Flow on Maggie FM 90.5, where faith meets the fact and truth is told in love. My name is Zika and Vdule, bringing you the latest update from around the world and from around Liberia and the world at large, guided by commitment to truth, integrity, and the light of Christ. In our headlines tonight on this Tuesday, May 27, 2025 edition of Maggie News Flow, clergyman faces neglect homicide charge in Charles' death. RCC turns over US 1.5 million modern school facility to the Ministry of Education. The NTA Deputy Director Noah Gibson summoned for alleged role in disrupting court-ordered evacuation. Away from Liberia, South Africa denounced watering down black ownership rules for Mark's streamline. And those were the news read in headlines. Now keep tuned as we bring you this and many other developments. This break, we'll come back to bring you our news full bulletin. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us on our news bulletin this evening on Maggie News Flow. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry Mandela Daguse has called on the country's private sector to take a leading role in transforming the national economic, asserting the sustainable development depends on strong public-private partnership. Speaking at a high-level business lecture organized by the Liberia Chamber of Commerce, the LCC, Minister Daguse said the success of Liberian businesses is directly tied to the success of the country and must be prioritized under the Bokakun administration's arrest agenda for inclusive development. The theme of the program, Empowering Progress, together brought together government officials, development partners, and private sector stakeholders to explore ways of advancing Liberia's economic comprehensiveness. Daguse noted that Liberia continues to grapple with a significant trade deficit of $790 million in 2023 alone, with the central bank reporting a monthly deficit of $69.8 million in February 2024. To address these gaps, the minister outlined initiatives including the organizing of import and export licensing, decentralization of the Liberia business registry, and implementation of a trade information management system. She at the same time said the ministry is partnering with the World Bank, is also supporting over 250 small and medium enterprises, the SMEs, particularly those led by women and youth. The LCC President Natty B. Davis welcomed the government's renewed commitment to private sector engagement, but cautioned that Liberia's long-standing challenge remains a gap between policy and its implementation. He proposed the creation of a regular policy dialogue mechanism involving the Ministries of Commerce and Finance, the Liberia Revenue Authority, and the business community to elevate the impact of new regulations before they are enforced. He praised the Commerce Minister's efforts to decentralize business services and support the SMEs, but stressed that the real impact must be felt by enterprise and entrepreneurs and small businesses across the country. The 8th Judiciary Circuit Court in San Nicolas County has finally ruled in the Global Methodist Church and the United Methodist Church's legal battle over properties ownership. The court Tuesday ruled in a motion to intervene and motion to dismiss in favor of the Global Methodist Church, bringing to an end the legal intervention on properties right between the two Methodist churches. Resident George Papis Sua found the judgment comes after consultation and consolidating both motions to intervene and dismiss, permanently dismissing the case against the United Methodist Church. Judge Sua ruled that the Methodist Church, that's the Global Methodist Church, has full right to use all properties of the Methodists. The two Methodist churches have begun facing legal intervention over properties ownership at the 8th Judiciary Circuit Court in San Nicolas City, Neva County. The court's ruling is the result of the United Methodist Church's action denying Global Methodist Church the right to use the Methodist properties, including the church buildings and other lands. The conflict stems from a deep dive into the congregation as the result of this agreement regarding the church's stand on gay marriage or the same-sex marriage. Bank County Health authorities have confirmed the first case of the mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, at the CB Doma Hospital in Bangabong County. The confirmation came after County Health Officer Dr. Jefferson Sibley during a live interview on the local radio station in Banga. He assessed the public that the patient is responding well to treatment and that all necessary precautions are being taken into account to prevent further spread of the virus. He urged residents to remain calm, practice good hygiene, and follow all public health protocols. The confirmation followed an earlier report from the hospital's medical staff that a female patient was being observed for symptoms consistent with mpox. Dr. Moses Bain, medical director at the CB Maternity Hospital, said the patient had been in isolation for 3 days. He at the same time noted that a dedicated medical team is providing care and maintaining strict infection control protocols. News of the confirmed case sparked concern among residents. Sarah of Home formed in the studio and radio station expressing fear and calling for immediate action. Others urged health authorities to begin a vaccination campaign even for those who have not had contact with the infected individual. Monkeypox is a viral disease that symptoms similar to smallpox, though it is generally less severe. Health officials encourage the public to report unusual symptoms and continue practicing personal hygiene and physical distancing where necessary. The Painesville Magisterial Court has summoned Deputy Director General for Operations at the National Transit Authority, the NTA, Noah Zoa Gibson, over allegations that he interfered in illegal mandated evacuation and in attacked community residents in an ongoing land dispute. The court summons signed by Staffing Magistrate Wilson G. Geyer comes after the Civil Law Court reaffirmed a parole judgment in favor of Joseph W. Bussey, authorizing the recovery of a disputed property in Jacobtown, Painesville. The ruling followed summary proceedings pursued by Business Authority through his attorney in fact, Henry Bagina. Gibson faces accusation of misleading, disorderly conduct, and criminal cohesion under section 14.25, 17.3, and 14.27 of the New Penal Code of Liberia. Court documents alleged that Gibson, alongside others, unlawfully entered the disrupted premises and assured Basin and his legal team to begin criminal land deals, both of the property and publicly via EFBC Radio's Nighttime Liberia program. These public accusations reportedly caused fear, reputational harm, and disruptions to the court's enforcement effort. The situation intensified after the court, presided over by Judge Safilon Arodumba, denied a motion seeking relief from the judgment filed by defendant Martha Johnson, Daniel Saki, Aminata Bangora, and others, citing failure to appear within the required legal time frame. In response, the magisterial court issued a writ of possession directing law enforcement to remove the occupant from the land. Due to resulting tension and reported threats against the court officers, police assistance were requested to ensure the peaceful implementation of the court's order. Gibson, a senior government official, is accused of leveraging his influence to embolden the occupants and obstruct the court's decision, further complicating the enforcement process. He is therefore expected to appear before the Painesville Magisterial Court on Wednesday, May 28, 2025 at 9 o'clock a.m. to respond to the charges. If you are just joining us, it is indeed a reminder that you are listening to a news presentation coming to you on Maggie FM 90.5 in Ganta City, Neighbor County. Stay ahead of this presentation if it's our news in the foreign development and the news in its simplified form, in the Mano vernacular, and of course our colloquial English. Still here on the news bulletin segment on Maggie News Flow. Reverend Remio G. Avi, 49, has been arrested and charged with negligent homicide after a 2-year-old boy tragically drowned in an open septic tank on Saturday, May 24, 2025 in the New Harper community, Jacksonville Township. According to the police charge sheet filed on the day of the incident, the Maryland Court Crime Statistics Department reported that Reverend Avi, identified as a Liberian man of Grable ethnicity and resident of People Mission Town Zone No. 1, was allegedly responsible for the open pit where the toddler, Erasmus Dodo, fell and drowned. Superintendent Frederick T. Smith Jr., who led the investigation, said Chief Inspector Daniel Nyame replayed a trip from a resident of the New Harper community, reporting that a child had fallen into a hole. The call came in at approximately 8:23 a.m. with the eyewitness saying the child had been rushed to the James Jenkins Dodson Referral Hospital in Harper City. Upon reaching the scene of the incident, police confirmed that young Erasmus had indeed fallen into a hole that Reverend Evan had dug. Evan admitted to investigators that the pit was intended to plan septic tank project and he had left it uncovered and unguarded. The child's grandmother, 41-year-old Beatrice Toll, recounted during police questioning that she was unaware and still in bed that morning when her doctor, Lucy Hinn, brought Erasmus out to bath him. While Lucy prepared the bath water, Erasmus wandered off to play with his friends in the living room. Months later, he was nowhere to be found. His slippers were discovered floating in the water that filled with uncovered pit. His body was subsequently recovered and rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead by officer in charge. Remio G. Harvey, the suspect in Saturday's tragedy is the newly assigned pastor of the Jasper Grant United Methodist Church in Plibo City. Authorities have called for increased public awareness and responsibilities in managing construction hazards, especially in residential and school zones. And finally, this evening on the news bulletin on Maggie News Flow, the Chief Executive Officer of International Consolidated Constructors, the RCC, has officially turned over the government a US 1.5 million state-of-the-art senior secondary school, the SSS, in Bangabong County. The initiative made possible under the project Improving Results in Secondary Education, the RS, was supported by the World Bank. The project, which is situated on a 13.5 acres of land, was turned over to the Ministry of Education by the RCC country manager, Rav Syria and Daniel Mahama over the weekend. The project was designed by the World Bank and the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Education in June 2019, and work began on November of the same year. After and at the turning over ceremony, Syria and Mahima lauded the government of Liberia for trusting them with the construction of the project. The RCC officials emphasized that the newly constructed high school will help enhance the learning environment of school-going kids in Bong County. They further called on local MOE authorities and Bong County administrators to take good care of the facility in terms of maintenance. Contractors, the RCC thanked local community members and the Bong County authorities for working closely with them to complete the project. The MOE's Deputy Minister for Administration, Anthony Akayita Wafodi, lauded the RCC for the level of work done in implementing the project. Foka, speaking on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Dr. Jaso Malijala, said the objective of the project is to improve equitable access and to improve the quality of learning in all senior high schools across the country. David V. Boke, the Bong County Education Officer, the CEO, praised the authorities of Bong County and all citizens residing in the county for the cooperation with the contractors for tax track of the construction process. On this note, we conclude the news bulletin and take a short break. We'll come back with John Stanley Wanyankawe, who is seated to bring us the news in its simplified form, the news in the modern vernacular, and of course, the news in the simple Liberian English. This break, we'll come back. Stanley is up next. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Stanley, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Zika, and good evening to everybody listening to me this evening. Okay, my name is Stanley Mwanyekawe. I'm here with the simple Liberian English news. The first one here say the big court in Niba County, where they call the 8th Judiciary Circuit Court, Finish talking the palaver between the Methodist church, two different groups. The thing that was making the palaver between the two groups from the Methodist church is that a few times ago, the people say men and men will get married, woman and woman will get married. So the other people they say because United Methodist people they say the men and men or woman and woman will get married, they're not part of the church. So they go now, then they get themselves new name. The new name they brought, where they put on themselves, they call it Global Methodist Church. So because of that thing, the United Methodist people say you are not want to be part of the thing, then all the other things that we all been fighting for, you people will not be part of it. Then the people say for why? Why will not be part of it? We all work here, then you also will not be part of it. So because of that, they carry to court. The time they carry to court, they been on that thing. But a few times, they be men for the separate court in Nibakande, what they call George Pesua. He go now, he finish the talk. When he went now, he told the thing, he say, United Methodist people, the thing what you're talking is not good. The Global Methodist people, they also part of the thing here, all of y'all work together. Now, not because the people say they don't want anything, they all say they're not part of it. So they quote George P say no. The Global Methodist Church people, they also get a right over the property. That number one there. Then they want here is the Liberia government other hand that can work for all the business and market people in Liberia. The big person they call Madeline Japosa say all the people making business in the country that not for government, they call them or private sector. She say they all must be in front of the work here so that they can help to change Liberia and make the money working to be good. Minister Dakosa say the private sector too, they are tired to making Liberia good, especially in the Baka and Kun government plan. Ma Dakosa taught the few days to the town where they were opening the new idea and they named the opening that day. They say giving power of making the working together, what they call the people call empowering progress together. She said the work will not only be in Monrovia, but it will go to all the other counties. She said the idea, the being that is supporting the work, they call it the World Bank. So the big person for the World Bank, they call Nate B. Davis, say he like the way the government of Liberia put their hand on the work here. He say the idea the Liberian people put there a good that the Liberian other hand what they call LRA, that the people work and collect the tax there, and then the business people he say they all must join together to work so that everything can be good for the way the government plan to make the country to be. Then the last one again here is say our other security here, what they call the Liberia Immigration Service. They say they few times they now start now going to put people name down. The people what they putting their name down are the people what they call the Burkina B, what come from Burkina Faso. They say they now complained in the country. So the big person for the immigration service they call Commissioner General Colonel Elijah F. Rufo. He says so. He said the thing that breaking the whole thing here is because they hear they say plenty of Burkina be there in the country. Yeah, in all the far country they can see the people sitting in. But they say they Burkina be there, they can't in the country, they not get paper. So it making a work for the government house. So now they fit now Colonel Rufus say they will go around in all the far country where they see the people to put their name so they will know the kind of people that in the country. So that they too, when they be in the country, they not get paper and not good. So the people then say they like the idea the way the big person is working. That all they will get for the 1 year the evening. Then now I will take it quickly and go to my people in Mano. Na unle untano na be katula ko nyenge pie mo unge katumo zila ka zila kuna kaka piebe le eka ogene stele mu anye kawe gbe gbengere kini ngene la wulo aje apenzere ko kleze ade kele kwa nye ke memo mia de obe ogo de Liberia immigration service de obe o nye ke srem de abe o nye de srem to lo mi be ataple to wa won to ade kele wa do die wa mi bula be ogere ilajo El Rufo be ade kele taya wa lo die wa to ba mi atopo mo mi atopo be asiesi mela mi atopo be asiesi kele mi no be ogo Africa sila be oga be Burkina Faso be mi no be ogo be age o gba se nu le la bi asile be mo enu obe ki le no fe do opre ke ya so kere mi alo ka la bi asi amu ya age o si nu ike o jagba la bi a sere kere o ja ike tene le kome de won to ka so amu ya wa lo die wa kere ododo ke sere de ila bi asi be account be asori be ke o de gen sere wa godo le adu eto branch be Maryland River G Nimba County wa Bon County be akekere ododo die ke o mi atopo yi mi obe akoko le o Burkina Faso mi ka be ka o topo akekere sere be adie si mi sere ke le o to ke be adie si mi be odo die ke wo me wa gomne ni o yebo ko o ke ba ke wo ke o akeke mi obe onye kire ke gomne o to ke kie ko kre ye akekere le do yo kese me kun ka de si la ka le de aye ezebe agekele la bia be azi gumle be ati yo ke kowone ye abe ogiade na obe o lo wa pere no fi abe ohun kesre ile abe agbele lo won me na obe wa die be wa mi bula be ogiade lepa madale takose be ebe ye agekele la mo mi na obe olodo mi kale obe wa gumle be si mi kale obe o di la le obe o si private sector be ateke de mi o kebe la mo be o sinsin o kodo ke ba ke wa gumle no je wo ke akoko o mi o kebe la mi o die si mo ke akake o ke na bi asi akọ eniyan bi akọ aniyan won pe ke ya le lo se be mekun akekiri a se be ado le lo ke aka le lo ke loro de ka o de pa ko se be ebe ye age mi aka bi ka de ka be ka di ko le ka be ka lo do be akoko la ko na ka no ke ka ta ku ke won na mi bo ka wa okun be wa ya ki mo ko se gumne be yo ka ka pe kwa se ka ko ta ka ba ke kwa ke ebi si ekika ka bo pre ebe di akeke de won ke ake ya la ki kan te ke onu aka mi lo be o ko ya la wi de ogun mo de ni ma pupo lo be o pe de wo be le be lo go ka la wi a ka o pre wo be mi be o si mi gura do ga press la be oge ade na te bi o de be ebe di na ila bi akumne be o subo akeke de azoge ne pupo o si de akumne be ko ya ka won suye ka wi de o ka be azoge de ke abo ke ebe di akeke de la bi abe be ke wo me ke mi no be o ni sombo mi ka do be oge o le ke Nigeria Revenue Authority e se mi no be ko lo de ma ka be o sense lam o lo keba o yo o da o keba o yo ke won le gumne be aya ke o me ko o akeke e ke pe adole ya dieto den klese agekele kwa mesa bo kabule abene ni ma kante sele kwa panei ba kante sele ame ogele sekre ko de o mesa be abuka saka ka labi asibe be wake ade die wele ke metode so mi api tebe o ozi loke ba yakwa o pi de tembe getai amebe kan ade mia o loke ba kula ide kria adomi ogele Nigeria United Methodist o top benzena o ke kwa amowa ye o ke ka de ye ke abo kria o lo die na blues be o gbe wa ye pe o na ba ke ka ko ke United Methodist be ko ke awi ko be ko si to ba le ko lo ba ake papa ye o ke ka o gere global Methodist say ade ke abo kria mo esti mena esi de wa de en wa ko o ke si wona de global Methodist be ade United Methodist ye ka be ka we la mo ke de wa le en wa ko mo o ke se ke akidi akobe polo enko to wala ni odi bi wala ni de pa we awon wa kon ende wa de o kesi amo won ya won kikria United Methodist be ebe di akide ye ka be ka we awon mu me ke kwa ko ya be ke po no se kwa ke la ti ne kwa ke pa be ka be ka ko wa ba kawo clear de mi ya kwase ayo go get global Methodist be bende e blasi ko ti setie de do la geje mo na ko se kwa ke pa be akede pa ko ben wa o ke de ko wa ba e di ye pa ke ko wa de wa de ko ma ko ke si mo be o ke de ko po le kwa ke be si ko wa ba kawo clear wo me do wa ka ko ti le na me da abe o gade abe kwa me sa o be bu ka o be le o gade na me pe su be e de ade mo ka ke be de mekun United Methodist Church ele ka ben ka to e ke die kripi se be de ka ke melo be kwa ke auto the global method check ka ke de kumbe okwa ba ake ya ebe ya ke de method united method you ka ke ka siwa se global method check united method check pour ka pe se me ka se ka ko bon pe je ke mino fete e de mi dora azeka aka ko pre se de ko na ka pie de ka bo pre aka pre je ma tono pre pa ya je no ba ke se ka to man no ba se ka pe la sai ma ke ka o ke le stele wo anye ka we gbogbo de gbe la lo aka no ya to man no se ka pe le sai ke do ka di ka to mo
Steny Nwanye Kawe with the simplified version of our news there in the simple Liberian English, otherwise known as the colloquial English, in the news in the manner vernacular. That is a regular feature here on Maggie News Flow. Stories making headlines tonight on this presentation. Clergyman faces negligent homicide charge in child's death. RCC turns over US 1.5 million modern school facility to the Ministry of Education. The NTA Deputy Director Noah Gibson summoned for alleged role in disrupting court-ordered evacuation away from Liberia. South Africa denies watering down black ownership rules of Mark's Steam Link. For detail of this development, we'll take a short break. We'll come back with Josephine Bianco-Isewa, who will bring us our foreign development. This break, we'll come back. Josephine is up next. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Josephine, welcome.
Thank you. This is Maggie on 90.5. South Africa deny watering down black ownership rules for Moxa Link. Airline Moxa telecom business will not be given special dispensation by South Africa to bypass the country. Black ownership requirement communication minister Solly Malassi said on Tuesday Malassi was forced to deny watering down policies on foreign-owned businesses in order to carry favor with Musk and U.S. President Donald Trump. South Africa requires foreign companies owning communications license to sell 30% of their equity in local subsidiary and historic disadvantaged groups. The requirement has come under fierce criticism from Starlink in last week, just 1 week after President Sarah Ramaphosa continued White House meeting with Trump. Malassi public changes to all the policies. Communications companies, including Starlink, will be allowed to bypass the 30% rule if they instead show equity evident investment in broadband and other digital infrastructure. On Tuesday, Malassi appeared before Parliament in Cape Town to defend the move and denounce suggestion it was introduced especially for Starlink. Lawmakers question whether directives were currently opening up the playing field for foreign players or tampering with the government economic empowerment agenda by entering the state land. Malassi said the changes will allow more new operators to enter the market and be goods for competition and had nothing to do with Ramaphosa recent meeting with Trump, stakeholder, industry players, and the public have been given 30 days to send submission and provide comments before the framework is finalized. South Africa Bamat had reportedly denounced the black ownership laws and said he can't get elected in the country because he is white. South Africa authorities say Starlink hasn't finally applied. So those were our foreign news on Maki New Flow. I'm Josephine G. Sewa.
Josephine Biancoy Siwa there with our foreign development. And that's how we come to the end of today's presentation this evening on Maggie News Flow. Just before we go, we bring you the revisit of our most captivating stories. A clergyman faces negligent homicide charge in child's death. The RCC turns over US 1.5 million modern school facility in Bangabong County to MOE. The NTA Deputy Director Noah Gibson summoned for alleged role in disrupting court order evacuation. Away from home, South Africa denies watering down black ownership rules for Mark's Steamlink. That's the news presentation this evening on this 27th day of May 2025's edition. Many thanks to our news contributor who always help in packaging Maggie News Flow here on Maggie FM 90.5. In today's presentation, Josephine Biancoy was featured on the foreign news, and the man Stanley Mwanyakawi was here with our simplified version of our news in the simple Liberian English, and of course the news in the Manon vernacular. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Zika, and I anchored today's edition of Maggie News Flow. Kindly accept our invitation to join us tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. for another splendid edition of Maggie News Flow. Better still join us tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock for Maggie News Update. Until then, have yourself a God bless Tuesday night. Goodbye.
This is the official voice of Mackie's Foundation International, Mackie's FM 90.5 MHz. Best in Christian broadcasting. This is Mackie's FM 90.5 MHz. Broadcasting quality programs of information, education, and inspiration. This is Mackie's FM 90.5